Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It's time to have a look at some of the data mines because a bunch of stuff has been changed for RWRs and also radars. Not really a surprise since that has been one of the hot topics over the last few weeks with the new update, and also there's some new camos and what seems to be a new event coming along. So we'll have to check out what that is going to be. As always, if you enjoy the data mine stuff, make sure to head over to the data mining Discord where you can find all of this stuff firsthand, and if you enjoy the videos, make sure to subscribe. By the way, I fixed a lot of the issues with the new updates. I was able to fix the audio, which is really good. Basically just unplugged everything and plugged it back in, and somehow that worked, so I'm guessing it was a Windows update which broke something, and then I found a set of graphic settings which works pretty well, at least for my card, and that was with the TSR stuff, I believe, with the anti-aliasing. Everything else had this weird sharpness to it, and that didn't, so everything looks a lot smoother and a lot nicer, and hopefully you can see that in the gameplay. If you've been having a bunch of bugs, make sure to report them. I know there's a few going around right now. There's a really annoying fake nuke bug, which I'll demonstrate later on in a video, but it seems to be something to do with when a person gets a certain amount of spawn points in a game, the nuke sound goes off. So just be careful and make sure to check for the both teams to see if there actually is somebody who has a nuke, because an enemy team against me yesterday ended up losing the match because they chased the fake nuke, and I felt super bad for them because they basically got done in by a game-breaking bug. So just be careful of that. Also, make sure to come along to the Twitch streams today and tomorrow to get yourself some Twitch drops so you can enjoy them. Day of premiums on offer, also a decal and some boosters, so make sure to tune in. And if you have any additional questions, that's the perfect area to be able to ask them. Let's get started for the data mines. So the first set of changes is with the Gripen C and the JAS-39C. There has been a bunch of problems with the Mavericks with these vehicles. So for example, they are trying to fix the bugged AGM-65G sites and also the RB-75T one. So hopefully they work now for all of them. This affected the G AGM-65T, the RB-75T, and also the AGM-65H on the Hungarian Gripen. So seems kind of odd that it would affect all of these, but hopefully now that is fixed. The next part is for the F4F for Germany, the one that just got moved to 13.0. The weapon sight game camera position has been changed on it, so I'm guessing it was just in the wrong place. And then also for the F-15E, there is a possible fix for the missing weapon sight thermals. So it looks like they have moved that around too. The F-15 Ram also now has the F-15E hood instead of the A hood, which obviously makes more sense because of it. And also now there is a bunch of RWRs that can now identify the Panzer S1 as S1 instead of 1RS1, which is what it was before. And this includes a lot of the end-of-the-line stuff, mostly all of the American stuff can now identify it, but pretty much all of the high-tier vehicles, even stuff like the J7E, for example, is able to identify it as that, so it'll be easier to see on the screen. I don't know if they'll be able to detect if stuff has been launched at them, but understand this. If there's an S1 in the area or a Panzer in the area, it's better just to try and dodge them straight away without thinking about it. The KF-41 cannon got reduced in its targeting speed. That kind of sucks. I don't see that vehicle around that much, and I kind of want to know why. I don't know whether it's because its survivability isn't as good as something like the Puma, or because it's in, obviously, the Italian tree, and its lineup isn't exactly great, but I'd like to know, because it looks like a fun vehicle. I'm going to give it a go pretty soon, so we'll see what kind of goes on for it. They also showed for everybody the PBM-5A, and also the Sholef, since obviously that battle pass is over, and the coupons should be on the market now. So if you want to pick up those things, they should be available. If they aren't, that kind of sucks, because then, you know, people could just look at them and that is it. I don't actually know how much they are on the market. I'll check right now. And just remember as well, we have the camo box, which just came out. So there's been quite a lot of stuff moving around when it comes to the market. So the Sholef right now is on the market. It is 95 Gaijin coin. Okay, wow. Yeah, that's not worth that. So there's no reason to do it. The PBM5A is 30 Gaijin coins. That's a bit better. That makes more sense to me in terms of it. They also added a new HUD text, active CCRP mode for secondary weapons, and then also removed some targets from some of the weapon tutorials too. So they're probably moving around those as well. They've also changed some maps, so for Cargo Port, for Battle, Conquest 1, Conquest 2, and Domination, they added some new restricted areas, so the playable area got smaller on these versions. I wonder where those are, because Cargo Port is kind of like fenced in. Maybe it's on the left-hand side? I don't know. But then on Fulda as well, Battle number 2 and Domination 2, they've added new restricted areas, so the playable area once again got smaller. My guess would be that's on the right-hand side, where you could go down near the bridge. That area, basically people would just try and chance it and sweep around the map to basically go spawn camp. There's no other reason to go down there, and I'm guessing that's why they cut it off. I might be wrong. I might be wrong that they cut that off. They might have cut something else off. We're going to have a look. But it looks like, once again, they're trying to narrow these maps so people force into each other. Then we have some VSync changes. So they changed the VSync option text off and variable description was merged together. So it allows synchronization with refresh rate on the monitor, and then it just goes through what it says. Obviously with variable, only available in window and full screen mode, with a monitor supporting VRR techniques, and the monitor tries to match its refresh rate with the game frame rate. For me, I just have VSync off because I think my monitor runs G-Sync, but also I cap the frame rate to 120 just so it looks nicer for you guys. But generally, it's something that doesn't, you know, make a huge difference, at least for me, in the game. So I know a lot of people who do turn it on, so make sure to check that out when it adds to the game. They also, with test drives, slightly changed the paths of the aircraft. I'm guessing they're running into each other or something. And then we have a new snail pack. So this one really seems like it's like a War Thunder wiki pack. They've done those in the past with the Chibi decals and other ones, but this one has the intellectual title. So, you know, going for the good old Brainiac title. And then also the Intellectual Snail decal. And this is quite a nice one. I think it's well made. The snail ones are always cool. I wish there was a way of being able to collect them all. Like if they did like a pack a year, which was like, I don't know, $5 or something, and you got all of these decals in it, I think that would be really cool. But this one has a how to attack the D-point book, which obviously that's been the meme recently with the esports stuff. But when they did stuff like this in the past, it was like when they did stuff like War Thunder Mastermind, which was you had to answer like 7 out of 10 questions about War Thunder correctly or something. Then you got a title and then a few other things. But my guess is this is probably going to be like some kind of War Thunder wiki thing, since this is more of the style that they've done recently. So we'll have to see what they decide to do with it. There's also some new skins, which perhaps are going to be either for the Iran-Iraq World War mode that was leaked previously, or maybe as Twitch drops, since, you know, that's been kind of the main thing they've done with the esports stuff, and all of these vehicles are pretty high in general BR, which is something that they've also been focused on. So you got the F-15E 50, which has the 64th Aggressor Squadron camouflage. You also have the Tornado GR Mark 1 with the number 15 Squadron Trifid Airways camouflage. And then, of course, the M1A1 Aloha 35th Armored Regiment camouflage. And also the Leopard 2A4, which has the 5th San Marshal Extremadura camo. So those are all of the ones which are available, and we'll have to see how they bring them in. I would be surprised if it was for the World War mode, since most of these aren't really to do with that, because, you know, a lot of these vehicles weren't, you know, part of what the Iran-Iraq war, at least that would be. So we'll have to see what goes along. My guess is more it's probably to do with like the esports stuff, because as I said, that's kind of been what they've been pushing with this. So, you know, more historical stuff to get people involved. It could be more Twitch drop stuff. It could be just general like grinding stuff. Maybe there's going to be an event where you can grind out camos, something that we haven't really seen too much in the past, but something at least that I've talked about that I think would be quite good, where you get a set of challenges for a specific vehicle and they follow like the historic path of that vehicle. You get a little bit of text about where that vehicle comes from and, you know, the squadron behind the camouflage, and then you get the camo. And I always thought that would be really nice, kind of a take on the Pages of History stuff, apart from it's more pages of vehicle. So you grind through the specific vehicle, and as like an extra thing on top of what you already have, it kind of would show like a set of like a skill basically on the vehicle because you ground out the camo. There was also with the A10A, the early and the late, the F-15 and the RAM, the target tracker was changed quite a lot. There was a bug due to which the target tracker failed outside of the vertical, so that's been fixed, and also the pitch stabilization limit has been massively increased to 180 degrees, same with the roll stabilization, so now the target tracker is, or should be, back to normal. The AJ37 and the AGS37, they fixed the RB75 and 75T sights, or at least supposedly, same with the JS39A, so they're really working hard on this. The Su-25SM3 had its target tracker massively buffed as well, with the limits going to 180 instead of 60 and 45, and also same with all of the helicopters' target trackers. So it looks like they may have made a change with these things in the last update, and now they're fixing them, but pretty much all of the helicopters just got that change that I talked about with the Su-25. So their pitch stabilization limit and roll stabilization limit are both up to 180 degrees instead of their limits before, which were 60 and 45. Also, at the same time, there are many RWRs now that can identify the ANAPG 70 and 70I, which are the F-15's new RWRs. So that means that you can kind of see what the vehicle is coming in. This is something that they're changing a lot over time, and if you're interested in a specific vehicle, then you're just going to have to keep up with the data mines, because RWRs are one of those mechanics in the game that they've been massively increasing in its kind of usefulness, and every single update something changes about them, and it's usually something pretty minute, but it's very hard to keep on top of compared to what's been going on. Anyway, that's the data mines. So a lot of information, mainly fixing along with target tracking on vehicles, but also hopefully a mini event soon, along with the IAR setup, which of course we're getting to. As always, look after yourselves, peace be with you, I'll see you soon. I'd just like to thank GMG Smiley, CD Beans, Chieftain Mike, EMN3 Galaxy, Tulio Pontecorvo, Brendan Quinn, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Wartinder, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Ozzy Panzer, Alan Hacker, Liam Shear, Opium Prime, Lafouche, Sem Aslan, Uncle Bean, and Derek R. for supporting the channel.